what are your strategies when it comes to increasing business sales? Now, obviously, there's different businesses, like there's e-commerce stores, there's brick and mortar style businesses. What's some things that we can dabble on in this video?
So the core fundamentals to start with is generating more inquiries. If you're a service-based company, obviously trying to generate more traffic, whether that's impressions and then after impressions follows clicks. So everything that I can do from an SEO standpoint initially to
Mhm.
do that, and then from a social media standpoint and stuff like that. So obviously there's many ways of growing traffic and stuff online. So I don't know if you want to dabble on other ways apart from maybe paid advertising or something like that.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of different ways, such as Google SEO. There's local SEO if you're like a local business. There's national SEO if you're more of like a wider approach business. There's obviously PPC. There's Facebook ads. There's Twitter ads that you can actually do. There's Instagram. There's all sorts of stuff. But one thing that I think that's pretty important to talk about is vanity metrics as well, because obviously you mentioned before impressions. You could be getting a whole load of impressions, but you might not be generating any more sales or might not be generating any more revenue for your business. So what are some key fundamentals that you're looking at, for example, if you were to do PPC?
So for PPC, obviously, initially it comes back down to volume of inquiries, but then obviously after the volume of inquiries, I want to check cost per acquisition at the back end. So, all right, I might be generating leads at £10 a lead, but if the leads at £20 a lead are converting 3 times better, then I want more of those. So certain people like start looking at the cost per click and stuff like that, but I'm happy to pay more on a cost per click basis if I know at the back end that the conversion's good enough. So, I mean, what is it that you're mainly looking at when you're looking at PPC on Google Ads?
So very, very similar to what you said. A lot of people will look at cost per click and they're like, "Oh, this leads cost me £5, or this type of leads cost me £5." And then they might look at another keyword and they might say, "Okay, well that keyword's cost me £55. I'm going to switch off the £55 campaign and I'm going to go all in on the £5 campaign." But that's not necessarily the right mindset that you should actually have, because in some cases the £55 lead that's cost you might actually convert a lot better when it goes through to your sales team, or they might just be a much higher value client, or much higher value service as well that they're actually looking for as well. So there's always that I look at the negative keyword list, because again, if you don't set up your negative keyword list, you might be bidding for certain keywords, like for example jobs, like window cleaner jobs, or let's say accountancy apprentice, right? And if you aren't adding those actively to your negative keyword list, yes, you might get a lot of searches and a lot of eyeballs on your brand, but that's not necessarily the type of person that you actually want to cater for when it comes to actually selling your services. So that's another thing that I'm looking out for. But let's talk about SEO. So if we're talking about how to increase business sales, what's some strategies that you're actually going to be doing when it comes to SEO?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, the top of the funnel type informational keywords, generally speaking, are not going to get you a quick ROI. And it's funny that you mentioned Vanity Metrics, because so many people don't really understand the difference between vanity and sanity metrics. And for me, the main thing that I'm always looking at as a businessman when I'm increasing sales is my return on investment. And it becomes difficult with SEO because you might need to nurture people along the way doing some top of the funnel, which leads them down to bottom of the funnel keywords. The
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the funnel keywords are the keywords that they're ready to buy or ready to inquire with you now. So you've got to try and work the way down. I try holistically to go after everything if I can, but people need to understand that when you are investing in SEO, it is a much longer term play than it is if you was doing Facebook ads or Instagram ads or PPC and stuff like that. And I think too many people with SEO, too many businesses, they switch off too soon
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to SEO and search engine optimization.
So let's use an example. Let's say, for example, you are a solar business. You install solar panels. What is one top of the funnel style article?
So, like, how much saving on electric? How much like will I save on electricity
Okay.
by having this? solar panel, and then one or two others then could end up being, if you're starting working down further after you've got the savings, there might be like what type of grants that there might be available and what type of funding could be available. And then when you then start working again a little bit further down, you might then be going, okay, I know now I'm going to save a lot of money. I know now there's certain funding and grants in place. Now I want to know what the best type of solar panels are, even further down the funnel, when you start doing the verses, like A versus B, they've done a lot of research and people are saying Kazra Dash solar panels are brilliant, and then someone says James Dooley solar panels are brilliant, and then at that point they're then starting to compare. They're getting right to the nitty gritty to not only know that they want solar panels, but what type of solar panels that they want as well.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that's worth mentioning as well is the reason why SEO takes so long is because there might be 500 articles that you need to actually upload, like blog pages, to your website to then be able to get that authority and trust from Google. Because a lot of people think, oh, all you do is you just build a couple backlinks, create a couple landing pages, and then that's it, that you end up ranking. You actually need what's called topical authority, which is exactly what we've been talking about just then. You need to cover all of the top of the funnel style articles. You need to cover all of the middle of the funnel style articles, and that's when Google will reward you for the bottom of the funnel articles, and they'll actually rank you higher. So, for example, if you've got one page on your website, such as solar panel installers in London, for example, it's going to be very difficult to rank that just with the one page and a couple backlinks. You need everything else around it to then for Google to then be able to trust your website.
So, something else that we've been doing, and I think this is very important as well. If you're a business owner specifically look to increase sales, one of the best things that we ever did was we started to merge and integrate our marketing efforts with our sales team efforts. Because if I start to ask, obviously you know about this, but let's say I was asking a random business owner, whose fault is it if I went and delivered 50 hot leads through to a salesperson and they close none of those leads? Whose fault is that, right? Is it the salesperson and you have to go and sack the salesperson because his conversion rate is terrible? Or is it the marketing team for generating the wrong type of leads? And is it the setter or is it the closer that you've got to blame? Now, the truth of the matter is it's both of them. Because if they've not converted any, right, the leads probably aren't hot. The leads probably aren't been nurtured. They probably don't know what they're doing. And I'm not having it that a sales guy can't close 0 out of 50 inquiries that come through. So at that point, when you can get them two chatting to each other and almost debating, but yet kind of integrate a bonus structure at both ends, that the marketing team needs to speak to the sales team, and you're trying to look to increase sales, the sales team will quickly start helping the marketing and explaining to them why that wasn't a great lead and why this was a great lead. And when you can get them two talking to each other more, and I see so many businesses split off, there's my marketing team, there's my sales team, and they have them completely different departments that don't talk that much. And I think it's very important to integrate those two together.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably one of the most important things when it comes to how to increase business sales. Because again, if your marketing team's delivering your toilet cleaning inquiries, but you're a solar business, doesn't matter how many inquiries they generate, you're not going to be able to close any. Now, obviously, that's a bit of a far wind example, but
I can give an example on a great example. We're in commercial solar panels, so you mentioned solar panels. So a great example for this is that we started to rank for commercial solar funding, and all the inquiries was coming through to us, and they specifically wanted a certain type of funding. Now, we wasn't the funding organisation, and we didn't know whether the grants was available and stuff at that specific time. Now, they wouldn't want to go ahead with the job if they couldn't get the funding. So they needed to go off and see whether they was eligible. And that funding might take 12 months for them to come back to say, yes, you are eligible for that funding. So for that to go through to our sales team now, they're not ready to buy yet. And we need hungry people that have already got funding, that have already kind of got a budget price. You've nurtured them down the funnel and they're pretty much ready to go. We've got money. We want this done. When can you do it? And that's where the marketing team needs to tee up the sales team a little bit better.
One thing to add to what you've just said as well is, even if you've generated that type of inquiry, if you're a smart CEO, what you would do is try and find a shoulder and niche. Okay, I might not be the person that does all the funding, but I know Billy over here down the road that can do the actual grants, and then you can actually monetize those leads that you would have thought at one point, I'm going to throw this in the bin. So you always need to be a little bit strategic when it comes to actually fueling your business and generating those inquiries, because it's never just a black and white, okay, this person wants my service, this person doesn't. Try and find somebody that can actually help with that service, and then at that point you can actually charge a finder's fee.
Yeah, for sure. I think the key takeaway for this with regards to increasing sales for a business is you've got fast money and you've got slow money. And generally speaking, PPC will get you a quick turnaround. It should be generating leads today if you switched it on. It's very expensive. You can get click fraud if you don't get the negative keywords in place. You don't have a nice like conversion rate optimization kind of page that can convert inquiries. You're going to waste a lot of money. But if done correctly, you can be generating leads today and getting orders in literally as you turn it on today. SEO is a much longer term play, and I call that slow money. But long term, you probably would get a higher return on investment as long as you team up with the right search engine optimization agency. But you probably holistically need to be doing both to try to get this money in to keep the teams busy now, or to get the sales in now if it's an e-commerce store. And then the slow money the long-term investment in an ideal world, there's new orders coming in and new inquiries coming in every single day, which that's what can happen with SEO, because you're not indefinitely ranking. As long as you keep it going, you'll be ranking. But with PPC, the minute you stop spending, you're gone. You're not there anymore.
Yeah, definitely. So that's been our video on how to increase business sales. If you are struggling with this, click the link down below or visit fatrank.com, fill in the contact form, and we will be in touch. Thanks for watching.